you know, my guest needs no introduction, and they bang on for hours, which is exactly what I'm going to do, actually, to introduce John Harvey. He's the author of the 12, well, he does need no introduction, the author of the 12 Charlie Resnick novels, 4 Frank Elder novels, and loads more, standalones like In a True Light, young adult fiction, poetry, and hot news, Body and Soul, the last Frank Elder novel, has just been longlisted for the Gold Dagger, and it's also on Booklist's top 10 crime novels of the last 12 months. You heard it here first, or perhaps not. He's won the CWA Diamond Dagger for Lifetime Achievement, and the CWA Short Story Dagger, amongst loads more. But as I say, if I was to really tell everybody everything you've done, you know, you'd never hear from him. So
might be a good thing.
Also, poor man, he's been lying about his age, and nobody told him if you're going to lie about your age, you subtract years, you don't add them. So he's claiming he's 80. I mean, honestly. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, John Harvey.
We just did that.
I know, we did.
Okay, can we go now?
Yeah, all right. Okay, so my first question is, when did you realise that you were a writer?
This is an anecdote, and it may take a few minutes. When my mum died, and we were going through her things, we found this stationery box, kind of Basildon Bond, kind of greyish stationery box with various bits and pieces in it. You know, a lock of my hair, and this folded up piece of paper, which was a story that I'd written. It must have been when I was, probably 4 or 5. And it was something like, anyway, I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was a story about the prince wanted to marry this young girl, and he loved her very much, but the young girl didn't want to marry the prince. She wanted to marry a normal man. His name was John. The prince rode off on his horse alone. I think that's superb. It's got 2 leading characters. It's got pathos at the end. It's got a happy ending. It's got a sad ending. It's just like the ending of the 40 or 50 westerns I wrote later on, where the hero rides off into the twilight. So I suspect unknowingly I knew round about when I was 4 or 5. But then it took a long while to surface. I mean, I then waited until I was 35 before I published anything.
In fact, yes, talking about the westerns, because John has also published as William S. Brady, J.D. Sandon, L.J. Coburn, amongst others. Hundreds and hundreds of westerns.
Half of those people.
John B. Harvey was all you there.
John B. Harvey was all me. The westerns, we wrote in pairs, because if you wrote in pairs, you could write more books. I think that's how it worked. We wanted to have series with different publishers, Transworld wouldn't give you a second series, so you had to go to another publisher, which meant having a different pen name. But if you had, the more pen names you had, the more chance there was that one of those series would take off. So eventually Herne the Hunter got to 26, which was not bad. That was John J. McLachlan. But that was me and somebody else. So we did alternate books. And the only way I know which are mine is the ones that end like the story I wrote when I was 5.